hey guys, today's look should be fairly simple. The first step that you're going to do is make sure that your skin is prepped and primed, and then we're just gonna go in with a white base before we do our shadow. So I have not done my brows or anything. I'm gonna do it after. You're just gonna go in with that blue and you're just gonna set everything around your eye. Make sure that you're just taking your time. Whenever I am doing paint, it is always the longest process of my life. So taking your time to do this just to make sure everything is blended is really good, especially if you are going to be using a cream based paint. I find that they just get tricky sometimes. So you're gonna just use that blue paint. I said blue paint. You're just gonna use that blue eyeshadow and just making sure that everything is blended as seamlessly as possible. You just want to pack all of that in, and then you're just gonna go into a different palette if you have to. I'm using the Riviera palette by Anastasia, and I'm just gonna go in with that bluish shimmer, and I'm just gonna go ahead and act like I'm cutting my crease, because since it's a shinier one, you don't have to worry about doing anything. And then you're just going to go in with a blue paint and just make sure everything is blended in. So I'm using the Snazaroo one. You can get it off of Amazon, and also this paint palette that I'm using with the cream based paint is also from Amazon. If you click the link in my bio for Amazon or in the description box, I think I listed all of these paint products anyway, so if you want the specific link, just go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the white just to brighten up everything, and this is like a highlight and contour. So whenever you are doing paint and you're used to doing makeup, I think about it in that fashion. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this like I'm doing a regular makeup look. What would I do? I'm gonna use a foundation, which would be your paint, and then I would use concealers just to make sure that I'm highlighting and contouring. That's exactly what it is that you're doing here when you're using paint. So that's how I think about it. So then I'm just gonna go in with a dry beauty blender, and I'm just taking my time to just blend everything out. This specific one is from Real Techniques. I find that they do work very well when it comes to cream based paints, but whatever beauty blender you have, go ahead and use it. Just make sure that it's soft, and please, I cannot stress it enough, make sure that it is dry. Do not wet it, because it's just not going to go well. So once I'm doing this process, I'm just taking my time. I'm just gonna go ahead and add where I need to add. Make sure that if I need to kind of tone down a little bit more, I'm gonna do it, and I'm just blending my life away. It is going to be the longest process, like I said, when it comes to paint, especially if you are working with cream based paint. Make sure you put on something to watch, and you're just gonna blend that bad boy in. So once we finish with this specific part of the process, the next steps are fairly easy. I did do my brows off after I did it off camera after I did my eyeshadow, so you could go ahead and just do that. Do it with any regular products that you use to do your brows. That's what I did, but I wanted to make sure that my brows were going to be black. I can't stress that enough. So once I do that, I'm just going in with the peachy color that's in my cream based palette, and I'm just going to do around my nose, and my face is being set with translucent powder. I think I used the Miron colorless powder. I just kind of set everything in place just to make sure everything is going to look the way that I want it to, and then I'm just going to use this peachy color on my nose just to kind of bring everything to life. And then I'm going to add a shadow from the Riviera palette on top of it to just kind of bring it all together. So in my other videos, I stress that whenever you are doing stuff, if you know you're going to need this for like a function, because say you're doing like some type of small gathering for Halloween, or you got to do a shoot. I have pretty oily skin, so I make sure that I take my time to make sure that my products become matte. So I always use shadow whenever I use a cream. I will always put a shadow on top of a cream, because I know that is the way that my skin works. So if you have oily skin like me, doing this will really help you with making sure everything is going to be mattifying. So I'm also now using the dark blue shade just to go in and create the outlines that are there, and I'm looking at the picture to make sure that I'm following things to the best of my abilities, and just make sure that everything is kind of lined out how I want it to. It's kind of like tracing, but then you go in and you fix things up the second coat that you go over. So right here, my purpose is just to trace and outline what it is that I'm seeing and how I want it to look. And then we're just gonna go over it again to make sure that everything is darkened and it looks the exact way that it needs to look. So after you do this step, honestly, the next process is you're just gonna go in with a white paint, and you're going to use a very tiny brush because you just need to do the white dots that she has all over, or that any of the avatars have all over their skin, and you're just gonna do that. And you're just gonna set your face and you should be good to go. It's not that hard, it's pretty simple. And then you're just going to use that same blue and peachy color on your lips, and that's pretty much it. But you could just go ahead and just watch how I kind of bring everything to life. When it comes to the hair, because I know some people do ask me about how I do my hair a lot, I use the Yvette wig. No, not Yvette. Wow. I use the Letitia wig in black, and I just put it in 2 bobos, and I twisted the front and put some beads in my hair, and that's pretty much how I achieved the exact look that I had with my hair. You can do it however it is that you want, but I really do find that if you have 2 twists in the front of your unit or of your face period with some bubbles or just like clips or whatever thing that they usually have, it's gonna make a difference. So if that's kind of what you're going for, just go ahead and do that. But I hope you guys enjoy and have a blessed and wonderful day.